My father once killed me for his illegitimate daughter. After being reborn, I hesitated. Should I tell Mum that Emma is Dad's illegitimate daughter? Then, to my surprise, Mum suddenly slapped the girl. What? Could she have heard my thoughts? It was merely an argument with my father's adopted daughter that led to his ruthless act of throwing me from the 13th floor window, resulting in my immediate death. Instead of dissipating, I lingered on as a wandering spirit by my father's side, thus uncovering all his secrets. His marriage to my mother had been a calculated move to climb the social ladder. He had long harbored affection for another woman who bore him a daughter, Emma, my mother's adopted child. From the onset of their union, my father plotted to seize control of my mother's family fortune, aspiring to build a prosperous life with his beloved and their cherished daughter. Yet, fate intervened. I was reborn. I returned to the very day Emma was welcomed into our home. "Emma, won't you greet Mom?" urged my father, presenting her before my mother. Emma trembled, eyes averted like a frightened bird, unintentionally exposed. Her arms bore the telltale marks of harsh beatings. This pitiful sight instantly evoked sympathy in my mother, who embraced Emma warmly, favouring her even above me, fearful of any neglect. As Mother reached out to take Emma's hand, what should I do? Should I tell Mother that Emma is Father's illegitimate child? I noticed Mother flinch at the touch of her. Glancing around nervously, her gaze finally rested on me. I blinked innocently back at her, feigning ignorance. Mother frowned, suspecting a hallucination. Next, Emma will throw herself into Mother's arms, weeping, securing her sympathy. Indeed, Emma promptly clung to Mother and burst into tears. In my past life, this scene deeply moved Mother, leading her to cry alongside Emma. This time, however, she couldn't muster a tear. Her eyes remained fixed on me. "Lily, were you speaking?" "No," I denied. Mentally, I added, "I can't let Mother know I've been reborn. She'd see me as a monster." Mother's eyes widened in astonishment. Father, attempting to soothe Emma, interjected kindly, "Emma, don't cry, this is your home now." Then, turning to me, he commanded, "Lily, show Emma to her room." "Okay," I agreed compliantly, inwardly reciting, "Emma will soon fall down the stairs and accuse me of pushing her." Predictably, midway up the stairs, Emma tumbled down. Father rushed to catch her, anxiously asking, "Emma, what happened?" "It wasn't Lily's fault. I slipped." Emma winced. Father sternly reprimanded me. "Lily, Emma is now your sister. How could you target her? Have we spoiled you so much that you'd resort to such mischief?" Mother approached more composed than Father. Seizing the moment, Emma implored, "Mom, don't blame Lily. I understand she's just adjusting to sharing her space. I've been the only child before too. In my previous life, Emma's tactics successfully bred bias in Mother against me, casting me as heartless. Emma escalated her false accusations, driving a wedge between Mother and me, ensuring exclusive favour. Now I despaired. I'm finished. Mum and Dad will scold me as before. I can explain it, but they won't believe me. Best to remain silent." Mother's gaze conveyed guilt and sorrow as it met mine. Suddenly, a resounding slap from Mother stung Emma's cheek, leaving her stunned. I watched as my father stood there, momentarily stunned by the situation. My mother erupted in anger, stating firmly, "I saw it clearly. You fell by yourself, yet you dare to slander Lily. No wonder you were returned after being adopted. There must be something detestable about those who seem so pitiable." The adoption of Emma had indeed been my father's decision. He recounted a tale of seeing a pitiful girl at an orphanage during a charity event, previously adopted but then abused by the family. His heart went out to her, and he wanted to bring her home, emphasizing that I was the only girl and that Emma could be a companion for me. My mother, unable to withstand my father's persistent persuasion, eventually consented. Everything seemed well planned by my father and Emma, yet their scheme unraveled on the very first day. Just moments ago, my father deliberately positioned himself in front of my mother, wary that she might discern the truth. Emma, terrified by my mother's reaction, turned to my father for help. He quickly intervened, explaining, "Emma has been through so much abuse that she lacks a sense of security, causing her to misunderstand situations. It's all a misunderstanding. Look how severe you're being. You might scare the child." My mother was about to expose my father's scheme when she heard my thoughts again. "If you reveal Dad's plot now, he won't admit it, and it might alert him. After all, he holds significant shares in the company." She hesitated, I continued mentally. Both my brothers would undoubtedly side with Dad. He's always the lenient one while Mum is strict. If things escalate, they might even support Dad. Understanding dawned on her, and she chose silence. She managed to suppress her anger, addressing my father and Emma. "I don't want this to happen again." Emma nodded obediently, still appearing vulnerable. "Mrs. Banks, take her to her room," my mother instructed decisively. Mrs. Banks promptly escorted Emma upstairs. My father attempted to explain further, aiming to hasten my mother's acceptance and fondness for Emma, but my mother gripped my hand and walked away without looking back. My father stared in bafflement at her departing figure, puzzled by her sudden coldness. Usually, his coaxing would lighten her mood easily. I glanced back at him, a chilling smile escaping involuntarily. He was oblivious to the fact that his good fortune was nearing its end.